Hello students, in today's lecture we will learn laws of motion theory part 1. Disclaimer: the images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. So, in today's lecture, we will cover first is concept of forces, second is inertia, third is Newton's law of motion, Newton's law of motion, fourth is linear momentum, fifth is second law of motion, and sixth is impulse, seventh is third law of motion, and eighth is principle of conservation of linear momentum. Ninth is applications of conservation of linear momentum. And tenth is apparent weight of a rigid body in a lift. Clear? So these topics we will learn each one by one. So first is concept of forces. So what are the concepts of forces? There is two types of force. First is contact force, second is non-contact forces. So a push or a pull exerted on any object is defined to be a force. It is the definition of the force. It is a vector quantity, means it has both magnitude and direction. Force can be grouped into two types, which already I told you. First is contact force. Contact force are the forces that act between two bodies in contact. For example, tension, normal reaction, friction, like in this figure. In this figure, contact forces are present. This is a surface and this is a box. So the force between surface and box is friction force. Clear? Similarly, the second type is non-contact force. Non-contact forces. Non-contact forces are the forces that act between two bodies separated by a distance without any actual contact. Like this figure. This is a example of a non-contact forces. And suppose this is a surface and this is a ball. So in this case, there is a difference between ball and surface. Like gravitational force between two bodies. So here a gravitational force is acting and gravitational force acting vertically downward. And electrostatic force between two charges. So this is the concept of contact forces and non-contact forces. Clear? Next is inertia. So question arises, what is inertia? All objects resist a change in their state of motion in a qualitative way. The tendency of a undisturbed object to stay at rest or to keep moving with the same velocity is called inertia. In this figure, suppose there is a coin on the paper, the coin stay at rest. When a external force is applied, the coin having motion. So from this position to this position, the inertia of the coin is changed. So this is the concept of inertia. Next is Newton's law of motion. Newton's law of motion. First, law of motion, or we can say law of inertia. So Newton's first law of motion, also called as a law of inertia. So what is the definition? Definition is, it states that a body continues to be in a state of rest or a uniform motion along a straight line unless it is acted upon by some external force that change the state. This is also called law of inertia. In this example, the coin have in rest until some external force is acted. So if F equal to 0, B equal to constant, so A equal to 0. This law defines force. So the body opposes any external changes in its states. Means first law of motion, in which body opposes any external change in its states of rest or uniform. If body having uniform motion, then it opposes the rest, and if body having rest, then it opposes uniform motion. It is also known as law of inertia given by Galileo. So this is the first law of motion, or we can say Newton's first law of motion. Next is linear momentum. Linear momentum. Momentum is, or we can say it is defined as the total amount of motion of a body and is measured as the product of the mass of the body and its velocity. The momentum of a body of mass m moving with a velocity v given by this. This is the formula of linear momentum, where p is the linear momentum, m is the mass, and v is the velocity. So formula becomes p equal to mv, mass into velocity. Its unit is kilogram meter per second. This is the unit of momentum. And dimensional formula is ml t inverse. So this is the dimensional formula. Next is second law of motion. Second law of motion. So the second law of motion is the rate of change of momentum. Momentum is mass into velocity. Rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the applied force and take place in the direction in which the force acts. So mathematically we can understand it. According to the second law, F is directly proportional to rate of change of momentum. So this is the rate of change of momentum. This one, dp divided by dt. This is the dp divided by dt is the rate of change of momentum. Or we can say F equal to k dp upon dt, where k is constant. K is constant. So dp upon dt is equal to d divided by dt. What is the p? P is the mass into velocity. This is the momentum. So mass into velocity, and after derivative of this term, you will be get ma is equal or m dv divided by dt, where this becomes ma. F equal to ma, and that is the second law of motion, and can be written as F equal to dp upon dt is equal to ma. This is the second law of motion, or we can say Newton's second law of motion. So the SI unit of force is Newton, means force measured in Newton, and in CGS unit is dyne. In SI unit is Newton, and in CGS system, unit is dyne. 1 Newton is equal to 10 raised to the power 5 dyne. This is the conversion of Newton into dyne. This one. So this is the example from by a figure. Here F equal to ma. This is the Fa. The force is acted on a body and body is accelerate. Then we can say this is the second law of motion. Clear? F equal to ma. This one. Next is impulse. So impulse received during an object is defined as the product of the average force and the time for which the force acts. Formula is mathematically I equal to F average multiply by T. This one. This is the formula of impulse. Or we can say impulse is also equal to the total change in momentum of the body during the impact. This is the change in momentum. Clear? So impulse is change in momentum. This one. Next is third law of motion, or we can say Newton's third law of motion. So in Newton's third law of motion, or we can say definition of Newton's third law of motion, in which to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, means the force is acted is F12 and reaction is minus F21. We can understand it from this diagram. Suppose the force by a man pushing against a ball, this one, the force is F1, force by a man against a ball. So a ball pushing to man via force F2 with negative sign. So this is there is an equal and opposite reaction. Action and reaction are mutually opposite and act on two different bodies. When force acts on a body, then the reaction acts normally to the surface of the body. Clear? So this is the Newton's third law of motion. Every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Next is principle of conservation of linear momentum. So according to principle of conservation of linear momentum, it states that if no external forces is acting on a system, the momentum of the system remains constant. So this is the principle of conservation of linear momentum. So we already learned according to second law of motion, which is F equal to rate of change of momentum dp upon dt. This one. This is the second law of motion. If no force is acting, then F equal to 0 and dp upon dt is equal to 0 because F is equal to dp upon dt. So F equal to 0, that's why dp upon dt is equal to 0. So P equal to 0. P becomes constant. Clear? So m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2. What is the P? P is the momentum and formula of P is what? We already learned, which is m1 v1 mass into velocity. So m1 v1 equal to m2 v2, which is equal to constant. So this is the principle of conservation of linear momentum. Mass into velocity is the formula of the linear momentum. So we can understand it from this diagram. Suppose the mass of this body is m1 and initial speed is u1. Similarly, mass of this body is m2 and speed is u2. So this is the before collision. During collision, mass m1 and force acted f1, and mass m2 and force acted minus because it is having negative direction. After collision, mass m1 velocity v1 and mass m2 velocity v2. Clear? According to principle of conservation of linear momentum, initial momentum and final momentum is equal to constant. Initial momentum and final momentum is equal to constant. Clear? Next is applications of conservation of linear momentum. This is the applications. So first is the propulsion of rockets and jet planes is based on the principle of conservation of linear momentum. Second is upward thrust on the rocket F equal to minus u dm upon dt minus mg, this one. And if effect of gravity is neglected, then F equal to minus u dm divided by dt. Instantaneous upward velocity of rocket is this one, v equal to u log m naught divided by m minus gt. This is the instantaneous upward velocity of the rocket. And neglecting the effect of gravity, in that case, v equal to this one, 2.303 u log base 10 m naught divided by m. Clear? So this is the applications of conservation of linear momentum. Next is some meanings of their symbols. M naught is equal to initial mass of the rocket, including that of the velocity, which is u equal to initial velocity of the rocket at time t, and m equal to mass of the rocket, and v equal to velocity acquired by the rocket. Clear? dm upon dt is the rate of combustion of fuel. Burnt out speed of the rocket is the speed attained by the rocket when the whole of fuel of the rocket has been burnt. Burnt out speed of the rocket. So we can calculate from this formula where Vv is equal to 2.303 U log base 10 m naught divided by m1 mr. Clear? This one. Next is apparent weight of body in a lift. This one. So actual weight of a body is mg. This is a body and the actual weight of this body is mg. Here we consider the apparent weight of a man standing in a moving lift. This one, this is a moving lift, is mg. If lift is accelerating upward with acceleration a, then the apparent weight of the body is r equal to mg plus a. And if the lift is accelerating downward at the rate of acceleration a, then the apparent weight of the body is equal to r equal to mg minus m. So there are two cases. First case is apparent weight in case of body moving upward. Second is apparent weight when body move downward. So if lift is moving upward or downward with a constant velocity, then apparent weight of the body is equal to the actual weight. Clear? If the lift is falling freely under the effect of gravity, then it is called weightlessness condition. Clear? What is the weightlessness of condition? If the lift is falling freely under the effect of gravity, then we can say weightlessness condition. Clear? In this figure, the lift is moving upward, and in this figure, lift is moving downward. Clear? Next is summary. So we learn first is concept of forces, which is describe interactions that cause change in motion, emphasizing the role of push and pull. Next is inertia, the tendency of an object to resist changes in its state of motion related to its mass. And third is Newton's law of motion, three laws that defines the relationship between the motion of an object and the force acting on it. And third is linear momentum, the product of an object's mass and velocity, a conserved quantity in an isolated system. And second law of motion states that force equals mass times acceleration, which is F equal to ma. That's Newton's second law of motion. And impulse, which is change in momentum resulting from a force applied over time. So these are the important concepts. Third law of motion, for every action there is equal and opposite reaction, highlighting interactions between objects. Then principle of conservation of linear momentum. It means in an isolated system, the total momentum remains constant if no external forces act. And then applications of conservation of linear momentum. Practical uses in collisions and other interactions to predict outcomes. And last, apparent weight of a body in a lift. Variations in weight fell due to acceleration of the lift and affecting the normal force. There is, we learned two types. First is when body is moving upward, and second is when the body is moving downward. Clear? So these concepts we learned in today's lecture. Clear? Thank you.